Hi, this is Ed from The Light of Dog. I've got Romeo as my demo dog here, and in this short video I'm going to tell you what we do with boarding dogs that stay with us to keep them safe and secure when we go on our walks on our property. What we'll want to do is start with a harness. Most dogs that stay with us come with a harness. We very much encourage this. So we'll get the harness put on Romeo. Good job, bud. Now the harness is really the first and main line for keeping the dog secured to us. But what we've seen is that some dogs are able to slip out of harnesses. If you'll notice, they can get a little right amount of pressure, they'll start backing up against the lead and they'll collapse their front paws and the harness comes right out and they're off running away from you. So to prevent that, what we do is we use what's called a martingale collar. This collar, when it's fitted properly, is designed to, when there's any kind of pressure put on it, it's designed to collapse around the dog's neck, but up to a point, so it doesn't choke the dog, but it stays on the dog and stays secured to the lead. So we'll put that on Romeo. I think this one isn't quite fitted right, but for this demo purposes, this will work fine. And we've got our loop up here, that's next to the harness. Next, what we want to do is secure the martingale collar to the harness. What we like to use is called locking carabiners. And I'll get into differences between the standard leash style ones that you find versus this locking carabiner. This locking carabiner is fairly strong, it's very light. This is aluminum, this is a Black Diamond brand. I think it cost $8 or $9 when we bought it on Amazon. We like the locking aspect because this gate here has a screw to it that allows it to lock in place so that it doesn't accidentally come undone. So we'll go ahead and use this locking carabiner. We secure it from the martingale collar to the lead. Now Sue, why don't you come around here so we can take a look at this. But wait, let's wait. So you can see with this kind of setup, this actually is a little bit big for Romeo. So we'll use something a little different. Let's wait, bud. Go and zoom up on me. We'll use a smaller, similar to a locking carabiner. These we find at Lowe's and Home Depot. These are steel. They've got a nice little screw gate so you can screw them shut, if you can see that. So this might work a little bit better for Romeo because he's a little smaller dog. So we'll go ahead and get that secured in place and then screw it down. And that does. That works much better. Sue, why don't you kind of come on over and take a look at that. You'll see from here, just is not as big, but it's secured nicely, so this size works very well. If you have larger dogs, obviously we prefer this aluminum because it's very light, but we also have some larger steel ones, definitely heavier, but if you have a real large dog, something like this would work very well. Okay, so once we've got this secured in place and the setup on Romeo, next let's talk about the lead. So standard lead that you'll find in any retail location that you can buy has these kinds of clips. We don't like these for a lot of reasons. Number one, they're very small, harder to use with gloves in the winter. Number two is that this little open and closing sliding area can actually freeze in the winter, so it makes it much harder to work with. This is very small, so if you've got a dog that's moving around at all, it's kind of hard sometimes to clip into the snap on their harness. We also find that these aren't very secure. They haven't broken on us. You get a really large, heavy dog that lunges away, these will snap off. We also notice that this gate area is very weak, so if you get any kind of pressure this way, it can very easily snap off. So for all those reasons, we don't like using these, we don't recommend them. The locking carabiner just works very well. It tends to be a little weaker in this area, but we've never had a failure from the pulling here. So we highly recommend something like this. It's going to be a lot more secure and easier to use. All right, let's next talk about the lead. We make our own leads. We've been doing this for 6 years now. The reason why we make our own leads is because we like to use different sizes. So this is fairly long. This is about a 12 footer, but we have 6 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foots, and we have 20 foot. So that allows us to use the right lead for whatever purpose on the walk, whether we want to work with a dog in training or we're just doing a walk and want them on a long lead. This particular brand we buy at Lowe's. This is a good Polypro. We've tried other brands at Lowe's. We've tried from Home Depot as well, Ace Hardware. And this particular brand works very well. It's very durable. Again, this is 6 years old. It's never failed on us. And with all of our walking on the property and the leash is dragging and getting caught on things, you can see there's some wear, but not a lot at all. This has a very high braking strength, I think 400 or 500 pounds. Doesn't freeze up really in the winter, so it works very well. In terms of knots, we like using something called a bowline. Just look it up on Google. Very easy knot to put together, very safe, very secure. I've been using this kind of a knot for over 20 years now, and it's never failed. The advantage of this knot is that you can also undo it. So if you want to readjust this for some reason, you can get it undone and then retie it. So the lead will then get secured to the harness. Next is securing the lead to us. And what we like to use is just simple belts. I made this, simple clips, bought all this on Amazon, sewed it up. Doesn't look great, but very secure, very functional. This one also allows you to very easily manipulate the length once it's on you. Sue uses something a little different. This one she bought, it's got a few more webbing to it, strands of webbing to it. This one you have to adjust while it's off you, and then you snap it in place. A little harder to work with, but this does have some clips here. This was intended for leash clips, but again, these don't lock. We don't like these, but Sue uses them to hold keys and other things. So once we've got our setup complete, we've got our belt on. Again, we'll use another locking carabiner that goes from the lead to us. Very easy to secure. At this point, this is how we normally walk. We like this because it keeps hands free. We tend to use poles a lot because we walk on our property. For our dogs in particular, Zuzu, Romeo's completely off lead at this point, so we rarely walk with him. Zuzu is still on lead quite a bit, but when we're in our fenced area in our lower property, she's off lead. So it's very easy to take this off. If we want to leave the leash on her to drag behind, we can do that. So this setup just makes it very easy to be hands-free, but also be secured with your dog.